I'd love you to respond. Senator Tom Cotton was a guest on Squawk Box this morning talking about this issue. And I'd love you to listen to what he had to say about the response of corporate America and then respond to that. Take a listen.
Sometimes businesses are right, sometimes they're wrong. But CEOs that run airlines or pharmaceutical companies or credit card companies or sports leagues aren't really experts when it comes to voting laws. And that's been made perfectly clear over the last week. Their attacks on Georgia's voting law are ill-informed.
Ill-informed. What do you say to that, Les?
I don't know that it's worth politicizing, but I do believe that any law which limits the access to the polls of anyone is wrong and inappropriate. And I think that's what we're trying to have a dialogue around, are these prospective laws that attempt to, in some ways, limit access to the polls by anyone. It's an American fundamental right to have the right to vote. And I think that right inures to everyone in America, white, black, brown, or otherwise.
I wonder, though, and this is a subject that I have been spending a decent amount of time talking to CEOs about, Les, the willingness of corporate America to speak out on particular issues and the risks that brings to the corporations. It would seem this issue, in part, is bringing light to that and is not without risk for companies like Merck and others that choose to speak out. Do you agree?
Yeah, look, I don't think that corporations ought to be political entities. Having said that, this is not a political discussion. This is a fundamental right, the right to the ballot box and access to that ballot box. And so I think it's perfectly appropriate for corporate America to take a position as to whether or not they think these attempts to limit access to the ballot box are appropriate or not. And clearly, it seems that the momentum and the overwhelming sense of orientation is that this is an inappropriate way to go.
Yeah, Les, I'm curious that I was involved in that Senator Cotton interview on Squawk Box this morning. One of the other things he drew a comparison to, and I've seen a number of other lawmakers do this in the last couple of days as well, is the fact that the MLB, for example, is punishing Georgia over this voting law situation, or at least that's what I think he would say, but partnering simultaneously with communist China and continuing to work there and generate business there. Similar comments for some of the companies that have come out and been outspoken about Georgia, too. There's a point to be had there, is there not?
I don't know enough about the politics of it all to understand what that point might be, other than to say that Major League Baseball's response is a direct response to the Georgia law. Having said that, they certainly are entitled to take whatever actions they are. We're not suggesting boycotts or any such thing, but clearly people are able to act within whatever constraints they feel they are able to react.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.